Welcome to this week's YouAttest Audit Tuesday. Today, we're thrilled to have Falguni Patel. Falguni is an expert in process compliance as well as technology transformation.
Hey, thanks for having
Thank you for being here. So, first, Falguni, please tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your practice.
me. Sure, thanks. Um, so I'm a security professional with extensive experience within technology transformation and act as a technology or security champion between businesses and IT. That's usually the core role that I play, leading the teams into transforming their technology from the outdated or into a newer thing that's out there. So.
So, let's get into it. So, what exactly is an identity transformation?
In my opinion, what I understand about identity transformation is a digital identity transformation when identity access management program is improved to allow easy and secure solution to an enterprise. Um, and I think that's an ongoing process for every company, and everyone should go through that every often with newer technology out there and solutions to um, bring more integrity into their solutions.
Yeah, and we were talking a little beforehand, and it sounds like you've been involved in some of these large ones. So yeah, yeah, take it away, Ashley.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. So, why do enterprises conduct an identity transformation?
There are a few reasons, in my opinion. One, there are many companies it just doesn't exist. They just forget about this piece. Or either they're too small, or they have grown without understanding that they need this technology for a firmer security, framework. Or again, outdated systems, right? Like they have older certifications with very limited, um, you know, um, things on it, so they need to enhance it, right? Or they already have something up to date, which is 5 years old, but in IT world, the 5 years is too old, right? Because things change at speed of light, so they want to enhance their current solution. So, in my opinion, these are a few reasons, like major reasons why companies do that.
So, what would you say the benefits of an identity transformation are?
So there are quite a bit of them. One is it provides the organization secure authentication to their user privileges, right, and data access. It's centrally controlled, audit on how application, DevOps, automation tools, etc., use privileged credentials to access database. So we need such solutions to keep a tab on it. It also reinstills integrity by protecting user and data access, because by end of the day, if any of these threads are loose and if there's a breach, the trust of the customer or the data that you have consumed from the user is at stake. And with all these different new laws out there, it can get pretty heavy in the pockets as well as, losing clients. So it's very important to do these things, and these are the benefits.
And shouldn't IGA be added into an identity transformation?
Ideally, that should be part of the practice. However, there are ideally many things that, cybersecurity is not an entity. It's not a separate thing from any IT solutions, in my opinion. And I would say many security professionals would agree that organizations need to take this seriously, just cybersecurity in general. But I believe IGA should be ideally practiced in small or big organization. Many times it's overlooked at when it's a smaller group of people you have, but it's just as critical for bigger companies and smaller to have it, because it always slips through the cracks, right? Like when you don't have IGA, when you're not able to do that. I think it is due diligence, right? When you have IGA, it gives you due diligence to the work you have. So in my opinion, it's a fundamental that should have been there. Many times, they're solutions out there companies pay arm and a leg for, and it is so complex that you need to hire so many, experts who must know that. While it just came out a few years ago, how are you going to have somebody who's an expert at it at a substantial headcounts, right? So to have a simpler solution is more critical in this day and age, in my opinion, because things just get so complicated that it turns into this web, right? And then it's just figuring out what part of that web does this stick to. So I think having a simple IGA solution will do the right justification to their current solutions.
And Garrett, isn't this where YouAttest could help?
Yes, and we got to have Falguni on more because she uses her hands. That's what I always like to talk that way. And yes, and I love what Falguni said about the identity transformation, that IGA should be in there, but enterprises don't always know and couple things in. And that's why they reach out to technology and identity transformation specialists like Falguni to take them back a step and say, hey, we can do this. And then what we at YouAttest are doing is reaching out to technology and identity transformation specialists and let them know we exist. That yes, there is a fear, and Falguni, you can back me up. There's a fear of governance because people think, oh, if I take that on, that's an 18 months to 24-month process. That's the difference in YouAttest. In YouAttest, and since Ashley's our customer success manager knows, we plug right into the IM. So Falguni goes out there and says, hey, we're going to take your outdated database or IM system, get you modernized. We plug in YouAttest right into the IM, and they can start doing audits immediately. Literally, the plugin goes in 5 minutes, and you can start running risk audits on your users, roles, groups, applications, and your fine-grained entitlements literally that day. So that's where YouAttest comes in the identity and technology transformations.
Perfect. Falguni, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'd just like to add to what Garrett said. I believe this is a phenomenal solution that YouAttest has. And I also think that many times companies may have user privileges, identified when somebody leaves the company, and how their access should be removed. But it takes sometimes weeks to months to have it removed. That's one of the biggest red flags many organizations face and
Really good point.
know of, but don't know what to do with it. And I think YouAttest can come in and give those audit reports or even flag it on time and say, hey, so-and-so last date was this, why is it still on, right? Like, I think that governance piece will be very useful. So I would highly recommend anyone looking for such solutions to make their lives easier in a simpler way.
Perfect. Thank you for that. How can people reach you, Falguni?
So I believe, I don't know if you're gonna post my LinkedIn.
Sure.
You can go ahead and post my LinkedIn bio link, and they can reach out to me via that. It's an open profile, or they can reach out to my email, which is fal.gop10@gmail.com.
Perfect. And then we at YouAttest can be reached at youattest.com or just write us at info@youattest.com. Thank you so much, Falguni. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Thank you.